Well, it looks like we finally have some more information about Azur Promilia. In case you guys don't know, Azur Promilia did have a beta test in China. It was an offline beta test. So of course it's like exclusive to China because it is offline. Apparently people weren't really allowed to share too much detailed information about this offline beta test, but it looks like someone on Bilibili did give some details about it. And shout out to this Reddit user over here called Visible Thai. He apparently saw that video, it's linked over here, and he decided to translate what it was said in the actual video. And as you can see from this post, or as you will see from this post, this guy's English is not amazing, so there will be some typos, but nonetheless, let's very quickly go through it and see what has been said. The famous Azure Lane CC as well, so I think this is credible. So this is supposedly a credible source, hopefully. Of course, we always need to take these with a grain of salt, but this might be actually pretty damn credible. If anyone is willing to give this a sub, that will be appreciated. No idea what that means. I don't really use Reddit that much. In any case, good things. No, not final product, of course. Yes, this was, of course, a beta test. The game is impressive and almost completed. That is really good news. The story is easy to read, kind of like old school in that case. Basically JRPG stories. Okay, that's really nice. I hope this story isn't like super convoluted. Sometimes during some gacha game stories, they like to, throw around very complicated words, you know, very complicated keywords that people don't really know what they mean because it's like contained in the actual gacha story. So if it is easy to read, and if it's not like overly complicated, that will be actually really nice, because we all know how convoluted Wuthering Waves beginning story was, huh? In any case, no dark tale and all that. The vibe is very chill. Okay, very nice. I like the overall chill vibe of the game so far, to be honest, from what we've seen from the trailers. The tutorial is tame and relaxing, but it might be a little bit too boring for some people though. That could be fine, they might still improve it. The housing system is exactly what we saw in the PvE promotional video too, including farming, cooking, smelting, breathing, and etc. Okay. And they are also improving it. Okay, of course. And currently, number 5, currently we don't have diving, only swimming, but we do have some water kibos. Yeah, they didn't really show any water kibos in the actual trailers, only flying ones and on land ones. So it's interesting that there are actually already water ones, which is cool, of course. The flying feels even better than what we saw in the promotional videos. That's surprising. Kibo PvP is confirmed. Insane. It's a turn-based TCG like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Shadowverse. That is really weird. I remember during the newest trailer they revealed, there was like this small cutscene with the two main protagonists like commanding their Kibos to attack. And it did kind of look like there was supposed to be a feature with the Kibos fighting each other. And I guess it's supposed to be a TCG sort of thing. That's interesting. I was really not expecting that kind of stuff, but cool, okay. Hopefully it's good, but we'll see, of course. The combat is good. We have intro and elemental skills, I guess. So I do remember seeing an intro skill in the trailer. Each boss has its unique ulti. It feels like Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I actually never played Relink, unfortunately. I do know the game is pretty popular and it does look pretty sick, so being kind of like Relink, it's honestly probably pretty good news. Overall, the boss difficulty is quite high. It's not an easy fight because of patterns and mechanics, or maybe just lack of DPS. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's the beta. They might be lacking some DPS and whatnot, making it quite a bit harder. Kibos have various ways to support you, like healing, boosting, tanking, DPSing by itself. Damn. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, we did notice during the trailer, the Kibos were actually kind of amazing. They're actually really strong looking. So that's interesting seeing how they can actually cover a lot of roles. They got a lot of Kibos and characters that hasn't been revealed, but they can't say anything, obviously. Okay. The only thing they can say is we have up to 100 plus Kibos. Jesus Christ, including evolutions. Nice. And more positions, more bosses in the open. Okay, I have no idea what this means. Last but not least, shiny Kibos are confirmed. Oh, thank God. Shinies are like one of the things that makes Pokemon really fun. Hopefully, these shinies aren't like Wuthering Waves, because in Wuthering Waves the shinies are kind of underwhelming the way you get them, because like in Pokemon, of course, in case you guys don't know, in Pokemon there's always a chance to get a shiny Pokemon every time you find a Pokemon. But in Wuthering Waves there's just, the shinies are just in certain locations, and you can also just buy them. So it's not really as fun to get because it's not really that special. Hopefully in Azur Promilia it is chance based, but maybe hopefully it's not like a very small chance like it is in Pokemon. In any case, moving on about things, not final product of course, there are some bugs and there might be some extreme laggy situations where the switching places. They need to improve some character interactions with scenes, NPCs, and combat hitboxes. Some bosses have aggro range problems where it might lose aggro at where it shouldn't. That's annoying. Hopefully it doesn't happen in the actual launch. Some people reported that some bosses fight is too hard to complete, so they are asking for difficulty changes. Okay, the damage text might be too big that it might block keyboards and bosses, make you lost because it blocks the red carpet or just a straight slam on your face. Okay, that makes sense. During the trailer, the damage numbers didn't really look that bad, didn't really look that too big, to be honest. They look very clean and not very intrusive, so that this is kind of surprising to see. If we can turn it off or make it smaller, that will be great. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they do make some customization for the damage numbers. Same as for the UI bottom, whatever that is, some are too big while some are too small. Okay, I'm guessing some UI elements are either too big or too small. Okay, we didn't see any BM. I have no idea what BM is in this test. And about the first open beta test, mind you can't say anything, but they said we wish to see all of you early. Okay, this early soon, maybe this is soon, which would be really cool. Okay, and over here I already read this. It's just him saying how he wanted to share this everything and how the translation might be a little bit wrong because his English isn't really the best. Nonetheless, really nice post. Again, shout out to Visible Tie over here on Reddit. It was honestly really nice to see some more news for Azur Promilia. I can't wait to see this game coming. I'm guessing all of you are also very impatient for the actual release of the game. But in any case, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next video.